Hello everyone, Sam here to make another mutant rivalry video, or MR for short, as today we have a mutant rivalry between the Guardian of Texas, or aka Stephen Fuller, or aka the Red Ranger, versus the Guardian of Tennessee, or aka Jackson Lane, or aka Agent Vortex, as this is truly going to be an epic rivalry between patriots. It's a battle between state versus federal, or commonly known as a battle between states' rights versus centralized government. But before we get into that, I have to warn you first. Do not watch this video if you're under the age of 18, as this video may talk about some pretty sensitive topics that may not be suitable for kids, right? So I'm just telling you right now. I'm going to repeat this again. Do not watch this video if you're under the age of 18, as this video may talk about some pretty sensitive topics that may not be suitable for kids, right? So I'm just telling you right now, you have been warned. So let's get into this. The Guardian of Texas versus the Guardian of Tennessee, the battle between the state versus federal, and we're going to be transitioning in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Here it is. States' rights versus centralized government, a battle between the Guardian of Texas, or aka Stephen Fuller, or aka the Red Ranger, versus the Guardian of Tennessee, or aka Jackson Lane, or aka Agent Vortex. As you can see, this is a rivalry between state rights versus centralized government, a battle between the state versus the federal, or versus federal rights. As you can see, state rights versus centralized government. Now, both these two characters, the Guardian of Texas and the Guardian of Tennessee, each represent three different types of deals. So let's get into them, alright? We're going to get into these characters and their ideas and their belief systems, alright? And their rivalry, alright? So let's do this. As in right here, you have Stephen Fuller, who represents three things: states' rights, nationalism, and isolationism. Then you have Jackson Lane, who represents three things as well. He represents centralized government, patriotism, and globalization. And we're going to begin into each one of these characters and their beliefs. Alright, so let's do this. You have Stephen Fuller, who represents states' rights, and even believes in states' rights, as in right here, as he says, we should believe in states' rights, in order to make each state stand out individually, in order to preserve the culture of each state, as in wanting to make sure each state of the United States stands out, individually, and has its own cultures, and make sure to preserve in order to preserve the culture of each state, and wanting to make sure that each state of each culture is preserved, and make sure each state stands out individually. However, you have Jackson Lane, who also represents centralized government, or federal rights, as in he believes in a centralized government, as in right here, as he says, we should believe in a centralized government in order for the allocation of resources in order to bring efficiency. As in with a centralized government, we would have a better time relocating resources, or the allocation of resources, as in we'll be able to we'll be able to allocate resources such as economic development, energy infrastructure, and healthcare to people. Alright? Now next, we have Stephen Fuller, who believes in nationalism, as in, this is why he believes in nationalism, as he says right here, we should believe in nationalism, we should put our nation's interests first, in order for our nation to grow, all to improve our people's lives. As in, we should believe in the power of our nation and our state. Our nation and our interests come first. Our nation is better. We should believe in our nation. We should think our nation is better. We should do what we can to improve our nation, and most importantly, improve the lives of the people who live within our nation. Alright? However, you also have Jackson Lane, who represents patriotism, as in he believes in patriotism, as in the reason why he believes in patriotism is this, as in right here, we should believe in patriotism. We should understand our country isn't perfect, and try to fix or improve our nation's problems, all to make our country better. As in he believes that we should understand that our nation isn't perfect, that our nation has problems, that we should do whatever we can to try to fix the problems within our nation, in order to make our nation a better place. Alright, so that's why he believes in patriotism. He doesn't want to put the nation on a pedestal, okay? Now next, you have Yeah, Stephen Fuller, who believes in isolationism. As in, the reason why he believes in isolationism is this, as in, we should believe in isolationism and let the world handle its own problems and live within our own means and focus on our own people in our own nation. As in, we should do what we can to try to fix our own nation problems and not just go around and try to be the policeman of the world. We should try to fix our own problems. We should try to fix our own nation's problems. Try to lift up our people and try to make sure our people actually have the things that they need to survive. We should just be isolated from the world and just let the world handle its own problems. Meanwhile, you have Jackson Lane, who believes in globalization, as in the reason he believes in globalization is this, as in we should believe in globalization and let our nation have more of an influence in the world and spread freedom and liberty throughout the entire world and make the world a better and safer place. As in, if we want to prevent, let's say, dictators from running amok and trying to conquer other nations, we should do what we can to prevent that from happening and try to have a more influence in the world and try to make sure that our values are spread throughout the entire world and try to do what we can to fight back against oppression. Alright? So that's what these two characters believe. That is what they believe. You have Stephen Fuller, or aka the Guardian of Texas, or aka the Red Ranger, who represents and believes in these three ideas right here, as he represents states' rights, nationalism, and isolationism. Meanwhile, you have Jackson Lane, or the Guardian of or the Guardian of Tennessee, or aka Agent Vortex, who believes in these three things and also represents these three things, as he represents centralized government, patriotism, and globalization. Now, although these two patriots do not like each other, and they obviously have belief systems that basically contradict one another, they do in fact have some similarities, as both of them are in fact well-known patriots who want to do whatever they think is best for the nation that they basically want to protect. Rather that be Stephen Fuller and his belief in wanting to make sure we become more isolated from the world and wanting to make sure we fix our own nation's problems. Meanwhile, you have Jackson Lane, who believes that, we should do what we can to make sure our nation has a more influence in the world and try to globalize the world in order to make sure our nation is in order to make the world a better place and also try to make our country a better place as well. So let me guys ask you this. What side or would you be on? What side do you think makes the better argument? Do you think Stephen Fuller, or aka the Guardian of Texas, makes good arguments about his side? Or do you think Jackson Lane makes good arguments about his side? What side would you be on? Are you for states' rights? Are you for federal rights? Do you think state government should be individually and not and be separate? Or do you think we should have a more centralized government? Let me guys know in the comment section below what you think. And I'm going to be transferring again in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Alright, don't forget to like and share, comment, subscribe to the video. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos. I'm going to be making more videos. Also, don't forget to follow my Twitter account at oddcinema899. Thank you guys so much for watching, and also, let me guys know in the comment section below. What side would you be on? Are you on the Guardian of Texas side, or aka, are you on the Guardian of Texas side, or are you on the Guardian of Tennessee side? Are you for states' rights, or are you for centralized government? Which side do you think makes the better argument? And let me guys know in the comment section below what you guys think about this video. What do you think about this rivalry? Do you like this rivalry? Let me guys know in the comment section below what you guys think about this, as this is an epic rivalry between patriots, a battle between state versus federal, and a battle between states' rights versus centralized government. Alright? So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful and blessed day, and as I've been saying, may God bless.